back to Race Recap. My name is Jackson. This past weekend was the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series racing on the Indianapolis road course. And for those who don't know, I just wanted to give a little track description for the Indianapolis road course. You'll see here they'll rocket down the front stretch where that checkered flag is, down towards turn number 1. They'll make the right-hander actually, which is unusual for them. Then a quick left in turn 2, through the S's of 3 and 4, make the quick left in 5, turn 6. That'll be a trouble corner right there. There's a curb on the inside and on the outside. Just remember that. They'll rocket again down the back straightaway towards turn number 7. They'll make the left-hander, a quick right-hander into 8. The S's through 9, 10, and 11. The right-hander into 12. A quick left into 13. And lastly, turn 14, the right-hander, back onto the front straightaway. Pit road is right here, so you could come out, or right here. That's the whole pit road right here. You could come out right here, exit here. And then the start-finish is the checkered flag. So that is a track description for the Indianapolis road course. You can pause it if you want to look at the description a little deeper. But we'll get into the recap. The Xfinity Series started us off running 62 laps at the road course. The first caution was a very strange crash. It all started on lap 1, turn 6, a troublesome corner this weekend. It involved that curbing. I didn't know how to write this because it was very confusing. It all happened when the 20 of Harrison Burton flew up into the air after hitting the curb that was raised into the air, accidentally I assume. And behind him, the 90 of Preston Pardus also hit it. So did Brandon Brown, Brandon Jones, and Kevin Harvick, destroying all their cars. Behind them, the 36 of Alex Labbe went spinning with the 07 of Josh Bilicki. So, Kevin Harvick, Brandon Jones, Brandon Brown, and Preston Pardus all out of the race, and Harrison Burton with a damaged car. So after that crazy accident, there was no caution brought out when the 39 of Ryan Sieg spun. There was no caution when the 24 of Will Rogers spun. The second full course caution was when the 39 of Ryan Sieg spun and left debris on track. The third caution was the Stage 1 winner, Justin Haley. There was no caution on that restart in turn 1 when the 54 of Ty Gibbs spun. There was no caution when the 26 of Chris Wright flew up into the air on the inside curbing of turn 6. Very weird. And there was no caution when the 1 of Chase Elliott, filling in for Michael Annett again this weekend, spun around. There was no caution when there was a caution. The fourth full course caution was the 61 of Austin Hill, stopped on track, had a steering issue. And there was no caution when Austin Dillon and the 23 spun around. The fifth caution was for the 24 of Will Rogers, had fire coming out of the right front tire, so he stopped on track. That took him into stage 2, which went to A.J. Allmendinger. And last, there was no caution when the 8 of Sam Mayer spun out down the backstretch and went into the tire wall, ending his day, but he was able to get it back to pit road. And the checkered flag in this race went to the 22 of Austin Cindric. The top 10 here were Austin Cindric, A.J. Allmendinger, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott, Noah Gragson, Austin Dillon, Myatt Snyder, Riley Herbst, Harrison Burton, great comeback for him, and Andy Lally round out top 10. DNF this race, Sage Karam, glad to see him in a NASCAR car, but unfortunately had electrical issues. Spencer Pumpilly had an ignition problem. Sam Mayer was out for the accident. Will Rogers had brake issues. Austin Hill had a steering box issue. Haven't heard that one before. Chris Wright was out for an accident. Brett Moffitt had axle problems. Ryan Sieg had suspension issues. Kevin Harvick had power steering problems from the accident. Brandon Brown, Preston Pardus, and Brandon Jones were all out for that lap 1 accident as well. So the next day, it was the Cup Series racing at the Indy road course. Theirs was 82 laps. There was no caution brought up when the 33 of Austin Cindric spun. The first caution was the Stage 1 winner, Tyler Reddick, played some strategy and got some points. There was no caution when the 42 of Ross Chastain spun. There was no caution when the 2 of Brad Keselowski spun out in turn 11 and backed it into the wall, actually. And there was no caution when his teammate Joey Logano spun around. The third caution was the Stage 2 winner of Tyler Reddick. The third caution was brought out when the Eric Almirola number 10 car spun around after contact with the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and they left some debris on track. And there was no caution when the 33 Austin Cindric spun again. The fourth full course caution was from debris off the 51 of Cody Ware. There was no caution when the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. spun around and made some contact with his wall in the back straightaway. The fifth caution was a huge crash and a red flag. Very interesting crash, I guess you could call it. It looked like the Xfinity race yesterday, but on the inside curbing of turn 5, right where Chris Wright hit as well. It all started when someone in front of the 24, William Byron, actually ran over the curb and raised it up a little, so when Byron ran over it, it smashed his car. He went sliding through the grass. Behind him, the 18 of Kyle Busch ran over it, so did Joey Logano. Busch went sliding through the grass, and Logano actually nosed it into the tire barrier. He was okay, though. Back behind them, James Davison in the 15 also ran over it and slid down into the side of the Ford of Kevin Harvick, who went spinning as well. Still not done with the wrecks. On that same wreck, the 37 of Ryan Preece flew up into the air actually when he ran over it, and he was nailed in the back by the 20 of Christopher Bell. And the 99 of Daniel Suarez also got a destroyed race car after running over that curb. And after a lengthy red flag, it was lengthy because NASCAR actually took that curb up and replaced it with a little smaller one. So hopefully there wouldn't be any more accidents there. They were wrong. The sixth caution on that restart was another red flag. It happened when the 34 of Michael McDowell went flying into the air after hitting another one of those inside curbings. Lots of problems with those curbs. When he hit that curb, he went flying down the back straightaway and was hit hard in the side door by the 3 of Austin Dillon. Also spinning was the 52 of Josh Bilicki and the 41 of Cole Custer. Custer actually ended up into the inside tire barrier wall. Behind them, the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. was T-boned by the 8 of Tyler Reddick, giving both of those cars damage. And again, this was another lengthy red flag. They did more work on the curb. And after they got back going, with just a few laps to go, it took second overtime to finish this race. There was no caution when the 2 of Brad Keselowski spun, and the last lap was crazy. Actually, with 2 laps to go on the overtime restart, Denny Hamlin was leading the race in front of Chase Briscoe, and Briscoe pulled out to the side to try to get around him and made some contact with Hamlin. Denny Hamlin went spinning through the S's around 8, 9, and 10, and Chase Briscoe was actually given a penalty. Not for that. He missed the turn 6 chicane and went through the grass, so he wouldn't have won the race anyway. And that meant leading the last lap, which is the most important lap, went to the 16 colleague racing car of A.J. Allmendinger. Glad to see him with another win in the Cup Series. So the top 10 here, A.J. Allmendinger, great job from him. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Matt DiBenedetto, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, great finish for him. Austin Cindric and Ryan Newman round out top 10. DNF for this race, Chase Briscoe was parked. I guess he did not serve the penalty. Michael McDowell was out for the accident. So was Austin Dillon, James Davison, William Byron, Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, Anthony Alfredo actually had suspension problems, Andy Lally had rear gear issues, and Cody Ware was out for that accident. Well, that's all for race recap. Come join us next week when the Truck Series is at Gateway, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series are at Michigan.